welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight. COVID-19 is like a taste of leadership of leaders around the world, including Thailand. And in the Thai PBS World Tonight, Khun Thep Chayong and me talk to former Prime Minister Apisit Wechchachiwa and ask him to see the situation of how Thai government has handled COVID-19. And we also ask him to assess what's really going on in the Democrat Party.
The dinner last night, right? At the tea house.
Tuesday night. Yes.
Tuesday, right? How was it? How was the atmosphere? It was held amid rumors of infighting within the party.
Well, the party leader says that he wants to try to do this on a regular basis. Okay. I'm not sure. I mean, at least it shows that people are willing to come. Mm-hmm. They want to see unity. But if there are problems to be ironed out, they will have to get to grips with that. Uh-huh. One meal is not going to make all those problems go away.
And any chance of you revising your decision to be leader of Democrat Party again?
Certainly at this particular moment, I don't think the party would be in a position to review its stance on being part of the government. Mm. And I don't think the public wants to see political maneuverings at this particular time. I think they, whether they like the government or not, they'd rather see a politics that gets on with taking the country through this crisis. Yeah. So I don't think there's any question of the party reviewing its stance on this issue, and therefore there's absolutely no reason why I would come back.
So you must have got more free time as an outsider to see how Prayut government has handled the situation of COVID-19, and especially last week when he mentioned new normal approach. What's your take?
Well, that's two separate and very big questions. I think the handling of the crisis, I think there was a pivotal moment when the Prime Minister decided to basically hand over to the decision making almost to the technicians, the leading medical experts. And I think they've played a very important role. And also due to both the strength of our health system, which is not just doctors and nurses, but also the health volunteers that we have up and down the country, all working very hard. And to the surprise, I think, even of ourselves, we, the people, have been fairly disciplined in cooperating with government policy. So we've come through what we might say is the first phase with some success. But the issue of the handling of the economic impact is a different matter. My own view is that the government has made things far too complicated and therefore took too much time in helping people. It would have been, after all, in the end, they're going to be helping, 20, 30, 40 million people anyway. Yeah. If they had started off like many, including myself, had suggested, which is that they should be aiming at some kind of almost universal scheme, and then just looking at who should be the exceptions, and do that quickly without placing the burden on the people receiving the help, I think we would have had a quicker and a bigger impact on sustaining the economy, and we wouldn't have all these complaints about all the glitches and so on. Yes. We've already lost one minister.
That's right.
Well, not yet, but about to lose at least one minister because of this.
But wasn't his address last week enough to show that he is willing to shake hands with whoever?
Well, when a few months ago, I suggested that, why doesn't the Prime Minister invite the opposition leader or party leaders, say, to Government House and, discuss the situation, ask for cooperation before the executive decrees went to Parliament. You're not going to get them to agree on everything. But I think it would have been a very powerful signal that this was truly a new
That's
normal.
And you would have done that.
I think so, yes, I would have done that.
Can he do it now?
Well, it's not too late, but it's more difficult now. I think certainly if it was done a couple of months ago, I can't see the opposition saying, no, we won't go. Today, I'm not so sure.
And what about the decision to extend state of emergency?
I think that this needs a bit of explanation. There are two things that the decree does. One is you're taking power away from the ministers to basically the permanent secretaries, and then reporting directly to the Prime Minister. Now, I think if the Prime Minister is on top of the coalition, you don't need the decree for that. You can now, I think, in a situation which is now certainly the health situation is largely resolved as far as internal cases are concerned. That might not be necessary. The second thing are the legal powers. Now, if it's necessary, say for instance, if you still need to force people into state quarantines, and you don't have a law that allows you to do that, except for maybe by declaring a state of emergency, then say so. And say also that you would not use other powers. Then I think that would address the people who are opposing the extension of the decree. I haven't heard a clear explanation of why the state of emergency is needed for what. So if they explain that, like before, I think it was necessary because of the curfew. Now I think the curfew is seen as not needed for the current situation.
So overall, you are not quite convinced with Prime Minister initiative of new normal approach. You won't see it can happen.
Well, what he's saying, he's asking basically for unity and cooperation, which is fine. And I think we would like to see it. But as I said, he needs to lead that process. I need to go and say, can you come and can we discuss?
To sit down and talk.
Can we be open-minded about this? And what are the differences that we might be able to preserve? And what are the differences that we might put aside for the timing? So it needs a bit of active initiation on the part of the Prime Minister. And the second thing, as I said, is that we don't often hear exactly how the government has mapped out its strategy for the future. And all of this is not being helped by what's happening within the coalition parties, including the Palang Pracharat, where daily news of political maneuverings and possible conflicts and the replacement perhaps of some of the ministers. So this is one clear issue where I think it would be helpful if the Prime Minister would be open about it. So for instance, if he has decided that no, there's not going to be a reshuffle, that Kun Somkit or the economic team can get on that, say so. Or if he is thinking of a reshuffle, well then just do it and get it done so we can move on to the substance of what needs to be done in terms of policy.
That's former Prime Minister Abhisit Vejjajiva. And that's all from Thai PBS World Tonight. Thank you very much for watching.